It's time to play some stuff.
Why? I'm sure that's what's on your mind right now as we stare at World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria. Why, Jay? Why, you ask? Well, let me turn down this headset so I don't have to listen to his music too much, but Panda Brewmaster, dude. What does he have for drinks? 4 Wind Soju. Fairly weak alcoholic. Everything costs gold over here. Is that an indication of how much runaway inflation there is in this part of the game? A bunch of pandas getting drunk. Oh, joy. Bubbly things, I'm guessing, for the booze. Or kettles. Why, you might ask? Why? Well, to be quite honest, Guild Wars 2 was the game that I wanted to check out in 2012. But Mists of Pandaria was always a curiosity of mine. And I already had plans to get the game, even when I was trying out Guild Wars 2. But whereas Guild Wars 2 is the big AAA title that I absolutely wanted to have in 2012, basically the 2012 equivalent of Skyrim, Mists of Pandaria has never been anything more than just some curiosity I want to check out on the side. I mean, World of Warcraft's a pretty long-running and established game at this point, and this latest expansion, I think Blizzard did okay with it. They achieved some of their goals. Some of the other goals need a little bit of work. Like, for example, they wanted to get rid of the Madden curse of Mists of Pandaria, of the expansions, where whatever was on the box cover would be a big raid boss that would get taken down sometime during the expansion. There's none of that for Pandaria. None of it. There's no dominant boss that dictates the whole story. Just it feels more like a content pack. It feels more like Burning Crusade, which could have best been described back in the day as WoW Goes On. That's really it. In that case, it was WoW Classic Goes On. This time, it's everything that World of Warcraft has done up to this point goes on. Except this time around, there's a whole ton of Cartoon Asia in the package. And it's kind of like some people saying, like, Cartoon England or something like that. Yeah, this is Cartoon Asia, alright. Although some people find the Asian stereotypes to be offensive, I think this is kind of like... this is more like Looney Tunes type stuff here. It's not anything all that... It's, there has been an Asian expansion to an online RPG before that I've played. That was Guild Wars Factions, back with the original Guild Wars. But now, I'd say Blizzard definitely did a pretty decent job putting their own spin on the whole Asian expansion thing to keep that from being as much of a stereotype as these pandas. We might as well take care of the whole Kung Fu Panda thing right now with all the Kung Fu Panda things that people are saying. The Pandaren in the Warcraft lore predate Kung Fu Panda by several years. So Blizzard has had the ace in their hand. That's been ready to play all this time. So that's really what's going on here. Okay, what are we doing here? Just running around this Pandaren town while what's-his-name's AFK on his flying mount? Obviously a 90, because you have to learn something. Just like in previous expansions, you got to go through the content on foot, and then you can buy the ability to fly in Pandaria. I'm on my main, which is the Paladin that was mentioned in the Overture video. He's the furthest along in the quest so far, obviously, being my main and all that. I've taken about a month off from going through the Pandaria content, so I've had this game for about a month, and I've still barely scratched the surface of the Pandaria stuff because I was busy leveling my monk from level 1. Mostly through running dungeons, mostly healing, trying tanking from time to time, but monk tanking is very clunky and awkward in this game. I really hope Blizzard polishes up monks like they're saying that they're going to, because they need it. Something you might notice too with the recording maybe is the chuggy frame rates. For those of you saying that World of Warcraft is an 8-year-old game with outdated graphics, the upgrades to the graphics engine that Blizzard has put in over the years has increased the system requirements. To give you an idea, World of Warcraft originally ran on my machine that I built in 2005 at medium to high settings. I was able to almost max the settings out before they started upgrading the graphics, and then my computer upgrades have not kept up with WoW's upgrades, so you might see some chuggy frame rates here on Pandaria because they've upgraded their graphics. Even though it is still the cartoony style they've had since Warcraft 3, actually all throughout the series. The original DOS Warcraft RTS games were cartoony too. They always took place in some kind of cartoon fantasy land with the humans and the orcs and stuff like that. But even though this game is as old as it is, Blizzard hasn't just let it sit and rot. They have upgraded the engine and a lot of the mechanics in the game, such that if I had a time machine and I went back in time a couple of years and I tried installing this game on a machine from back then, it probably would have trouble running it. So it's not like, oh, 8-year-old game with outdated graphics. WoW's art style has always been a bit of a cartoon. Warcraft's art style has always been a little cartoony, and this time around it's Cartoon Asia. I picked this game up during a half-price sale. I certainly wasn't going to pay full price for this, and even then, full price was like $40, I think. So, got it for $20, and it would take a half price, knowing what this expansion was going to do. It would take a half-price sale, or a sale period, to get me playing this game, and that's basically how it panned out. I still have Guild Wars 2, can still play Guild Wars 2. Now, there's nothing stopping me from playing both games. Maybe after I get over the whole new toy effect of this whole Pandaria thing, I'll start switching between them and other games on a more regular basis. But in the meantime, Panda's getting drunk in bars. Okie dokie. So what am I doing here? What we're going to do for this video is we're going to take my monk out to this town, Dawn's Blossom, which is a neutral town in the first part of the Jade Forest. A little ways away. I had to start here because I had to remember how to get here, because you start down Pawdon Village. You start out way down there, and then you gotta go all the way up and around. I want to get my monk up here, because one of the big problems with this new expansion, as has been the case with a couple other expansions, the gear reset. Every time this happens, you get gear resets where greens at the beginning of this expansion are better than purples from the last expansion, which means that as you level through the content, if you weren't doing like old raids or something, your gear is going to, you're going to have periods where it's difficult because you're going through the gear reset period. You'll be woefully undergeared for a couple of quests when you start a new expansion's content. Fortunately, Blizzard has taken a hint this time, and if you're willing to go all the way out to this neutral area,
I hope you find
or you're willing to go all the way out to this village, there's actually a vendor who sells entry-level. There's actually, and I've already bought some of this stuff for the Paladin, for my Paladin, of course, but there's a vendor out here who actually sells greens at rather high prices in order so you can just buy your gear reset gear if you're willing to make the trip.
Hold on.
So,
Life is to be savored.
As soon as Panda Guy shuts up there, we'll just plot out our route. A little above Serpent's Heart in the middle of the map. Let's see if I can get my monk up here without getting lost. So, be right back. So, yeah, I decided to go with something a little bit different for this monk, because the running theme, if you play this game, the running theme that Blizzard has with monks in general is something besides the usual, both with how they've implemented the class in this game, and with how they handle this RPG archetype of the unarmed fighter. Because monks have been in RPGs. They're kind of like paladins and clerics and stuff like that. They show up in all kinds of games. But Blizzard actually tried to put their own spin on it this time. And they're not really, and some people don't like this, they're not really like monks in other games. For example, a monk as a tank would have been ludicrous to some people back in the day. So looking for what? Blossom Town or something? I'm forgetting the name of the town we're trying to find already. But I like how they've, let's see, let's go up north. Super Monkey. We don't want to get attacked by anything because the reason why we're doing this is because my gear is crap on this monk. And any fight that I get into is going to take forever. So let's hope I don't get knocked off my mount or anything. Anyways, monks. Monks in this game are a little different. They wear leather, they can tank, and things like that. And to some extent, one of the reasons why I went with the whole priest becoming a monk backstory of this character, I don't play on RPCers or anything. I just find it fun to have a story going between all my characters, at least on the Alliance side. Haven't really done too much Horde side, although I do have some high-level characters there, and some of my friends who used to play on this server, faction and server transferred, and I've got some of my Horde characters on their server now, but I haven't really caught up with them, because, well, I got more high levels on the Alliance on this server, so... Anyways, this whole theme with this monk is one of, as we look at the Pandarian countryside here, the whole theme with this monk is something a little different, because Blizzard's theme with monks is something a little different. One of the reasons why I went with the whole priest-to-monk thing is there was actually some jokes back then about discipline priests, back in the days when the discipline tree didn't really have a focus, and nobody really knew what discipline priests were supposed to do. Maybe even Blizzard, allegedly. Some people joked that Discipline was eventually going to become a priest tank class. It was going to play like a monk. I don't know if maybe someone read the forums and came up with the idea for monk tanks from that. But, what is it, the Serpent's Heart? Temple of the Jade Serpent? Well, I'd say this healer monk is definitely, etc. This is definitely a good spot for a healer monk. We're actually using the road signs in-game, as I don't have any clue where I'm going, as I've barely played any of the Pandaria content. And there's no roadsides here, so we'll err to the north. What's that Shadow Priest? Ooh, Dust Stalker. Bird of Prey, looks like a Shadow Priest pet. So, because Blizzard is doing this thing that they've got, where monks are something besides the usual, I actually decided to do something like that with this character. What's that huge deer? Oh, just a deer. So I decided to do something like that too. So, my specs are... healer, and tank. I do not have a DPS spec with this character. I did this because I like to play one of each type of tank. This is the only other healer besides the discipline priest that I'm interested in. And, what's this town? This is the only other healer besides the discipline priest that I'm interested in. And, just the whole something besides a different thing. Hey! Something besides the usual thing. Hey, cool! We actually made it! That was quick. That was quicker than I thought it would be. I think last time I didn't have a clue where I was going, so I got lost and had to do a little extra riding around, but... oh well, that's good. So yeah, healer and tank specs. The only way I go with DPS is to pretend to DPS in Tiger stance. And monks are very, very clunky right now, with in terms of the utility they bring to a group as a hybrid class. So, because of that... Stable Master, and a crane. Eventually you get crane mounts at some point, I think. Monks are very clunky right now, until Blizzard inevitably, I should say, polishes them up. I'm just going to do healer tank for now, as I have plenty of DPS characters. Plus, the DPS spec for monks is horrible. In terms of damage, utility, and everything. I wrote a blog entry about this earlier. Are monks the next paladins in terms of the DPS spec being lackluster compared to the healing and tanking spec? They are well on their way. Anyways, let's see what we can buy here.
It is very wise to shop here.
I've already gotten the item level 372 chest piece. Everything else though, 272. That's the first thing you get in Cataclysm. No wonder I couldn't kill anything. Half of the stuff I have is item level 272, and I even got a Wrath of the Lich King trinket. So, let's do our gear shopping here. Off camera, of course, so you don't bore you with clicking stuff. I only have 290 gold because I bought flying before coming over here, so that was a pretty stupid idea, but oh well. We're just going to get intellect gear. So let's see, I think I can get like maybe a couple pieces or something. Be right back. There. I've bankrupted most of the other high-level characters on this account, or at least on this server. But I finally got to all item level 372 gear reset gear, which is the very first level of gear in Mists. So this will all be obsolete and vendored away quite quickly. Well, at least my characters are bankrupt for now. And look how ugly it is. Look how ugly it looks. I'm going to go transmogrify it. Well, my characters are bankrupt for now, but one thing I've noticed about this expansion is that the gold just flies at you over here. So even though everything costs gold, you get gold. Hey, let's go fly a kite, or ride a kite. I'm gonna go back to Stormwind, get this transmogged, and see how much that costs, because I kind of like the transmogrification feature. As a nice little gold, it's a nice little gold sink. Yeah, I'll confess, it is a gold sink. But it's pretty good, you know. Keeps my Death Knight looking like an actual Death Knight and not like a clown in the Outland gear or something like that. Although I could do that with Transmog. But as far as this expansion goes, if you're skeptical about Mists of Pandaria, catch it on sale. Blizzard will probably have some sale at some point, or a retailer will sell it for cheaper than full price. And if my understanding is correct here, this game was never a $60 game to begin with. So maybe Blizzard's acknowledging that, yeah, it doesn't really have the same kind of fanfare that previous expansions like Cataclysm or Wrath of the Lich King might have had, but it does pull off what it needs to pull off. Some of the new features too, like the pet battles and stuff, are kind of unfairly biased against. People see pet battles now and they're like, oh look, Pokemon! Even if there are folks like me who can't stand Pokemon. But I assure you, the pet battles in this game are, Blizzard puts their own spin on it. It's not like Pokemon Warcraft Edition or anything like that. It's actually pretty interesting. I didn't think I'd like pet battles. I thought it was a gimmicky feature until I tried it out. Actually, the first thing I did, turn off that Stormwind music. I can't stand it for whatever reason. Yay, Zen Flight. Crappier version of Flight Form. But, yeah, I cracked jokes about pet battles when I was thinking of getting this game, but then the first thing I did when I got this game, I didn't have very much time to play, so the first thing I did, Mists of Pandaria, after over 6 months of not playing this game, was pet battles. So call me a nerd or something like that, do whatever you want, but yeah, pet battles. It's not that bad, you know, and it makes sense too, and it brings some usefulness to a feature in this game that previously was cosmetic only, in this case vanity pets. So very, very handy. Oh, wait, let's turn the display, show helm, turn that back on. We should at least see what the helmets look like before we transmog the heck out of it, and go back to the priest ninja, or ninja priest look. Yeah. Surprised I don't get more comments. Ooh, look, can't see your eyes. Surprised I don't get more comments about the ninja priest look with the transmogs and everything. How much is this going to run me? The staff's already transmogged. Pants, belts, feet, everything. Where's my shoulders? Helmet. 78 gold. Oh wait, no, there's more. But wait, there's more. Oh wait, that's already bracers, that's right. 86 gold, I'm 156. So I pretty much bankrupted my whole account to get back to looking like a ninja version of Sypha from Castlevania 3. Yeah, anyone remember that classic Castlevania character? I'm thinking the NES version of Castlevania 3, actually. When I was like, whoa, cool, there's a cleric in this game. Then it turned out she was a mage. And I think the translation got messed up on that version of the game, too. And Sypha was, or however you say that name, was incorrectly incorrectly identified as a guy, when it's actually a witch going around when she's actually a witch going around casting arcane magic while disguised as a priest. And there goes the last of my, turn the helms back off. There goes the last of the heirlooms. So I'll send that later. So my warlock can start leveling again, who is my inscriptionist, and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, I've been looking at gaming videos on YouTube lately, and I haven't been very impressed with what I've been seeing. Some people, they're just doing the usual reviews and stuff. Some people are so off on the Let's Play side of the spectrum that they are literally just filming themselves playing video games.
Hello.
And come on, you gotta do more than that. I mean, why should someone watch you play a video game when they can barrels? Why should someone watch you play a video game when they can just play it for themselves? Alright, I suppose the last thing we should do in this video is do a little test run of the new gear. Remembering last time, of course, let's turn the DPS meter back on. Remembering last time, of course, and clear it out. Remembering last time, of course, that in the early 80s gear for Cataclysm and stuff like that, that fights took forever because my gear was so horrible. It was more like level 80 gear than level 85 gear. So let's just grab a mob or something. This old horde base we just cleared out. Oh no, that's Shaw now. It's been phased. Let's pull a pack of... I'd rather pull, like, one horde or something like that than a whole pack of 3, because I don't want to do any AoE. I guess I don't really have much of a choice unless I force lightning the sergeant over there. Taskmaster. Alright. Knockback. Healer monk, so not a very interesting rotation. Although all the basic moves have healing buffs associated with them. So blackout kick makes it so that 50% of your auto attack damage heals people, and then you got the tiger punch thing gives you a free emergency heal after 5 punches. So yeah, that was definitely a lot better. Let's try... We're almost 10k DPS too, so let's just try spin kicking everything. This used to never work. Okay, the little guys are down, so now we can blackout kick the Taskmaster to death. Oh wait, there's another group. Another group of peons that need to be taken out. And a porcupine. And Death Grip. Or Death Note. I'm still stuck in Death Knight mode. Much, much easier. 12k DPS as a healer. So I guess my first objective in this game then should be do some questing, get my other high-level characters in on it. My priest and my paladin are already over here, but the pally's geared, the priest isn't. So between the monk and the paladin, do some quests, get some money, get her a set of agility gear so she can finally have both her gear sets back, because I had part of the sacrifice that I made to afford all of this gear and transmogs was basically to give up on agility gear. So agility, everything's missing. But at least let's do intellect gear. Oh, it's messed up too. Save the intellect gear because that's now up to date. And I guess we gotta start getting agility gear. I guess what we'll do is the money from the first group of characters going through the quests will be funneled over to the next characters going through the quest to get them some gear reset gear, so the pain isn't as much for them either. But oh yeah, here we go. Character's only doing 5k DPS. Must not have gotten any gear reset gear while I'm doing 12k as a healer. What kind of attacks? Corruption, Haunt, and Unstable Affliction. So it's a warlock, so I'm doing more than double the damage of a DPS class. There's the warlock over there. Affliction, obviously. And suffering, obviously. How much? Well, although that's a 90. Wait a minute. Is it that level? I'm doing more damage than a level 90. Okay, that's weird. Alright, so I'm not going to record every single thing that I do in this game, because that'll bore the heck out of you, but the more interesting moments and things like that, with characters and achievements and things I want to make videos about, you'll see as well. Just like with the other games, too. I want to retool Play Some stuff to be more of a mix between reviews and Let's Plays. Think like Armake 21, but more family-friendly. That'll give you a good enough estimation of what I'm out to do here. So, oh yeah, this panda's following me as part of a quest, so...
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello.
It is said, mighty is the wind, but you can still break it. Meditate on this. Yeah, I've already got a Pandaran warrior, though, not a monk, obviously. Maybe I'll do Pandaran monk on the Horde side. But, anywho, till next time, this is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by, and game on!